I am the Headless Headhunter, a corporate recruiter here to review your resumes to get you ahead of the job search. So, the first person we have up is a UX strategist. I use that in quotation marks because they are applying to a bunch of different things, which is usually not great. You should apply to a bunch of different things, but you need separate resumes for each of them. So this is less a UI UX strategist and more of a user designer, because that was the one that I found the most. So in case anybody's new here, I just want to let you know generalized resumes do not work. You absolutely and 1,000% want resumes that are tailored to the individual job title, not the individual job you're applying to, but the individual job title itself. So these would be really more like UX researcher design. And what I found were UI UX, architecture, HCI, Figma, Adobe Creative, Suite. Also, this right here was on Amazon. This was in Amazon's job description. Sketch, Photoshop, Illustrator, and InVision. User data, so like research and studies, how did you collect it, and then experience with workflows, diagrams, wireframe, proof of concept, interactive prototypes, and HTML, JavaScript, CSS, and AJAX. Again, those were on Amazon. So these are not a complete list, but these are at least some of them. So this person's ratio is 100-1, which is 100 applications they have applied to one interview, which is not good. So let's see what we can do to fix it. I am expecting this resume to be not great. Bridged UX design and analysis to enhance DoD platforms. What is DoD? I do not know. You did not tell me. Embedded continuous user research. User research is good, and behavioral data is okay. Agile workflows. I don't know if I saw Agile. I don't know if you need Agile or not here, but you could maybe keep it. Resulting in a 20% increase in task efficiency. What is a 20% increase in task efficiency? Does that mean you typed in 10 sentences last week and you typed in 12 sentences this week? Task efficiency is not... unless there's like an internal metric for it, that just seems weird. You don't need all these brags. I don't need you to brag on your resume. I don't care. I wouldn't understand them anyway, nor would other recruiters, and it's possible the hiring manager wouldn't either. Conducted mixed method research, which is good. User interviews and testing survey data to uncover behavior for AI-powered medical coding. Not a bad sentence, but you kind of already did some of that here when you said it. User research author. I cannot speak today. That's how tired I am. I am exhausted, which is good. You want me to be exhausted when I read your resumes, because that means if you can get past a recruiter who is on like 3 hours of sleep, your resume is good. So blah 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 blah. Don't care. Just wireframes, prototypes, mock-ups. That could be it, depending on the UI. AO chatbot, reduced onboarding times. I don't care about onboarding times. Let's design, blah, 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 blah. So, my guess for what this is first off, this is a generalized resume. Generalized UI, UX resumes, or just any resume that's generalized does not work. You need to be specific. So, I saw some keywords I needed. But I did not see all of them, and I think that is specifically because this is generalized. So, split this resume into 2 or 3, then look for the keywords on those particular. So I think you probably do like UX researcher, then maybe UX designer, and then maybe like UX lead or some UX UI lead or something. But yeah, this is too broad, which is why it's not working. But that is why you've gotten one interview out of every 100. Is every once in a while you apply to the actual role that they're going to see this, and you do have some of the keywords, but not enough. So please fix the formatting. It's not very good formatting. You really want this formatting. It's better. But primarily it is because this is generalized. So decide what you want to do, whether it's data strategist or designer or lead. Make a resume for that and then send it out. But yeah, because like some of this is needed and some of this is not. I don't think the React is, but it could be depending on, again, the type of role. So pick your role, make resumes for each, and find those keywords. The keywords are really going to be the key to you getting a job. And hopefully blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I'm tired. I forgot what I was going to say next. Let's go to the next resume. But yeah, this resume, it doesn't pass, I don't think, because it has 100 to 1, I know that, and I can now see why it doesn't pass. So now we go to and here's your degree. Degree should be up top. The degree should be in the up top. Also, you have this weird skill section at the bottom. I don't care about that. If a skill is not in a bullet point, it doesn't count. So now we are going to the next resume. This is a resume of a management consulting person. I use quotation marks because I really did not find a lot of jobs with that. So with the full disclosure that these keywords may be incorrect because I have not worked for the Big Four or private equity, this person is basically trying to be a consultant. So the first thing I can say is this formatting is not good. The most important thing about formatting is that it's easy to read, and this is not easy to read. So, but I imagine the actual content is solid as they have a 1:25 ratio. So, first things first, please use this formatting. It's just, I just canceled it out on that page, but anyway, it's just easier to read, okay? So not this, use this. It's easier to read. And the reason you want it to be easy to read is because recruiters can easily miss the good stuff about your resume. We look through an unholy amount of resumes an hour. It's actually only about 20 to 30% of our total job duties. So we typically do it in batches. And when you do it in batches and there is a high volume, you can miss stuff. And when it's this dense and this hard to read and see, it's possible they're going to miss stuff. So use this formatting. Everything should be Arial 10.5 with the exception of this stuff at the very, very top, this stuff right here. Everything else should be Arial 10.5. This should not be, this part should be bolded. Nothing in here should be bolded. Same with this. I don't know if you need this long. I think you can have the major and minors in the awards, but you do need to clean this up. This shouldn't be longer than three lines, and nothing here should be bolded. So, incoming digital summer analyst, that's fine. Again, your font is so hard to read, and when you have to read literally 200 resumes in under an hour, it's very easy to miss stuff. So, nothing here should be bolded. Go-to market strategy, streamline marketing budget by event by 6 million spent on marketing campaigns over 2 years, and then create flexible guidelines. The marketing channels built a proactive model about analyzing curves. This seems solid. Again, I'm not going to judge too hard on keywords because I'm not sure if I got the right one. When people send it to me, you need to be very specific about the job title. If there are a couple of other job titles, it could be, let me know, because I don't want to give you the wrong keywords, because that's really, really bad, because the keywords are the most important part of the resume. So, consulting, test consulting, and the French side tariff. Yeah, this isn't actually that bad. So from what I can tell, this is solid. I think really if you just fix the formatting, you'd have a 1 in 20, 1 in 15 rate. It's not bad though. I do want to say, especially because if you're getting a 25 to 1. So I wish I could judge this more based on the keywords itself. I just don't have enough information, and I don't want to give you the wrong information because I think that would be a dereliction of my duties. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a technical account manager. This person says, this is one of 4 core resumes I use. Good, you should have more than one resume, and will shape each one per job description. Bad, do not do that. You do not want to shape per job description. ATSs sort people in the order they apply, so unless you can fix it within 20 seconds, chances are the longer you take to submit, the worse your chances. So yeah, good to have multiple resumes, bad to redo them for each job. So what we're going to be looking for is customer, client, stakeholders that you can travel. SDL, we actually don't need. The more I'm looking at that, we would like Agile, SaaS, Cloud, MSP, MSSP, IT, CRM, and then there's going to be company tech specific. So with this role, and again, I'm sorry, I could barely breathe through my nose. I've got allergies, so I sound weird, but for this role, we really do want company or tech specific. So like if you are, say, working with Apple computers, we need to put Apple computer stuff compared to, say, working with electrical engineering stuff. This is going to be industry specific and how you succeeded. So I don't know if anybody can actually read this, but the font is so teeny that I can barely read anything about it. So this font is terrible. This is barely readable. I mean, maybe it's the right font, but the size is off for sure. So Arial 10.5, every single thing here needs to be Arial 10.5. That is what we need. So I'm going to squint to try to look at this because I don't have good eyes, but this is really teeny. So from blah, 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 blah. Okay, again, you don't need a professional summary. I really wish I could find the person who started the professional summary thing, and then I would give them a long talking to, because we don't need a professional summary. You only need it if you're changing industries or like very, very, very niche situations. So don't have that. Your education should be up at the top. Although in this case, it's a boot camp and not a bachelor. So this is the case of you probably do want it on the bottom, since even though education is a requirement, those are very much not related. You might be able to put it up top. This one I'm a little iffy out, but I'm not going to blame them for putting it all the way down here if it's not related. So let's see the actual bullet points. Although this person has 100 to 1. So they have applied to 100 jobs and gotten 1 interview, which is not good. That is a ratio. Delivered empathetic support to hybrid vehicle customers. You cannot just say empathetic. You need to tell me how, although I do like that you said guiding them through onboarding, service selection, and post-installation. That is actually part of it solid. So instead, what you wanted to say is delivered customer support to our hybrid vehicle customers by doing X and Y when I was guiding them through X and Y. It's not a horrible first sentence, though. Maintained real-time communication across tech fields. How? How did you do that? I need to know how. Created and manage internal documentation involving what? CRM updates is good. So these are not the worst. I think this is why you've gotten 100 to 1, is people probably are like not reading this and then maybe skipping down here because, again, professional summaries just hurt your resume 9 times out of 10. So led onboarding rollout of climate-focused SaaS. SaaS is good. This one's solid. I do like this one. Created live walkthroughs. So, truthfully, the more I'm reading this, the bullet points are better than I expected to be for this. And they have most of what I want. I'd like it a little bit more customer, client / stakeholder focused. But overall, I think your big issue is you kind of are tweaking it for each job, which is lowering your chances in the ATS, because again, they sort people based on the order they apply. So if you just fix the formatting and did not customize it for each job, you might get like a 1 in 50 on that alone. Because the bullet points, like I said, I need a little bit more, but they're not the worst I've ever seen. So just give me a little bit more in the bullet points, really fix the formatting, and stop customizing for each job, and I think you're going to have a much better shot at getting a new position. This is a resume of a help desk intern. So what we're going to be looking for, and I forgot to add one in particular, but what we're going to be looking for is not necessarily all of this. I don't want people to think they need to have 100% of the requirements. You really don't, but I do want most of them. So this is going to be Windows, Mac OS, Linux, iOS, Android iOS. I put that twice for some reason. The reason for that is essentially they want to make sure you can work in the environment that you're fixing. Then Active Directory, desktop support, Jira ticketing services, Microsoft Office 365 is huge. That was in like all of them. Microsoft Teams, Cisco, WebEx, Zoom, that you have your degree or GED. It's important. And then there also was one which is essentially like troubleshooting, installing, debugging, that kind of stuff. We want those words as well, just so they know. Now, let's see if they have it. We do not know their ratio, but let's see. So formatting is almost good. You need to put these into bullet points just to make it easier to read right here. And you don't need to put this under a separate level of experience. You can put this under projects. That's fine. So there should not be this many. I don't know if CompTI is actually needed for this. That is a cert that I have seen a lot, but I don't know if it actually matters for help desk. Maybe people can correct me, but from what I was looking at, not a single one had CompTI. So I don't know if you need CompTI for that. I don't know if you need Google IT certified or this. So the problem with this right now is we don't know what these do, because we're not asking you to code, right? We're asking you to fix Bob McBoberson's computer because Bob McBoberson installed a virus and it deleted all his work. So, which Bob McBoberson really should not do, but unfortunately we cannot protect ourselves from Bob McBoberson. So I don't know if all of these are necessary. The high school one that was one of the requirements, was GED or equivalent. So I would take a good hard look and see if these are actually on the qualifications of the resumes you're sending, or on the jobs, because it doesn't look like it from my perspective. So IT, self-directed, deployed OS tickets. I don't care about this. I mean, I do care that it was OS, but it doesn't say the right kind of OS. So installed and configured. This is good. Active Directory, good. On cloud could be good. Again, PowerShell is too much. Group policy objects, I don't know what that is. But the first part is fine. So you're the same here. Check out the customers help back easily. Support POS next to hardware. This one's actually solid. So yeah, what you need to do is put work experience / projects, and then for projects, keep this one. This one is very needed. This one could be needed, but you're essentially overhyping. Not overhyping is not the word. You're overdoing it. If anything, you're kind of appearing overqualified for some of this stuff. So you want to appear exactly the amount of qualified, because being overqualified can in fact get you rejected, unfortunately. So this looks good. Some of this is okay. I don't think there's anything here I need. You need to shrink this down, keep the high school, and then I'm not sure about the others. And then these are pretty solid. I like how you wrote these. So just put projects and work experience together. Put the project first, and then you can do it. So that should help you a lot more. But you need to fully do this formatting, because if you mess up any of it, it makes it worse. So is this resume bad? No, I don't think it is. It's not great, but it's really just you're sort of burying what I want to see. Like, as an example, if I hire you to attend a cash register, I don't care if you're the world's best hacker. I need somebody that can attend a cash register. And you kind of wrote this as like going above and beyond the actual duties. So they just need to know that you can fix Bob McBoberson's computer, that you can install Excel, that you can talk with Bob McBoberson when he gets upset about you messing up his computer, when the fact is Bob McBoberson did not turn it on. So you're over, I don't want to say overhyping, because that's not the word, but you are almost appearing overqualified, which is as bad as being underqualified. So I wish that wasn't the case, but unfortunately it is. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume review of a full stack software engineer, but before I go to that, the person from the last stream said that they were fired. I just want to make sure that you were actually fired, because you may have been laid off, especially if that was from Target, because at the current time, Target is going through a lot of bad stuff, and they have done layoffs, and being laid off and being fired are dramatically different in the corporate world. It's incredibly different. So fired means you did something wrong. Being laid off means you are faultless. You did absolutely nothing wrong. So we really want to make sure we know those two keywords, but those differences. So because they're very big. Now, on to this. So this person actually said full stack / backend software, and backend software engineers have different keywords than full stack. It looks like they were Python. So a Python backend is going to look like this. A full stack is going to look like this. And I'm aware full stack includes backend, but they do have different keywords. So you probably want two resumes, one for Python backend and one for full stack. So you also asked me a couple of questions. Let me see if I can't answer them real quick. Can a resume go to 1.5 pages? Yes. The size of your resume doesn't matter. I know there's a lot of, it should be 1 page, it should be 2 pages, it should be 3 pages. It doesn't matter. What is important is in the first half of the resume, in the first page of the first. So basically everything you can see on screen, I need to see your keywords. So this is first half of the first page is the most important part of your resume. After that, it could be 2, 3, 4 pages, doesn't really matter. And then you move to generic terms in the skills section, like Git. Git can be a keyword, but also this doesn't matter. So right here, this doesn't matter. You cannot submit a resume that has the professional skills here if they are not in the bullet points. The manager will reject them. That is a thing that rookie recruiters do. So this part of your resume does not matter, and it should be safely deleted. So there should not be a skills section. It is not needed. It actually makes your resume worse. That is one of my more controversial opinions, but I know I'm right on that one. With the exception of high-level managers can kind of get away with it because it's a little bit different. But for everybody else, no professional summary, no professional skills section. This can be deleted. This right here needs to be here, or else the manager will not accept it. So, integral part of Creative Entrepreneur, which is the friendly e-commerce platform, using what? I want to see these keywords: TypeScript, Python, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, Node, Angular, Next.js, MongoDB, SQL, React.js, API, REST, Cloud, Agile, CD, cross-functionally, and architecture, extra language, or Git as a bonus. And again, I know you have it here. It does not count. You cannot have it here. It does not count. It needs to be in the bullet points. If it's not in the bullet points, it's like it doesn't exist on your resume, with the exception of education, which again, where's your education? Your education should be up top. So instead of this, just put your education up there because that should be up top. Now let's look to see if the rest of the bullet points have it. Again, I need to know what you used for this. Directed a 2-person team to optimize the Python bank's legacy API by updating the code from Python using frameworks like FastAPI and Flask and libraries like NumPy. Pandas improved data collection implemented by 30%. So this is an okay sentence. It's not bad. You have Python, you have Flask, you have you have Python, you have REST APIs. Is Flask a part of backends? No. So you have like 2 keywords, 3 keywords. That's okay, but the rest of it I don't really need. And then this I don't need. I don't care if you improved the execution time for commodities, whatever. But let's see. Implement a CI/CD pipeline, good. Using Ansible, don't care. Ansible Tower, don't care. Jenkins, don't care. Bitbucket, don't care. Streamlining code deployment and ensuring efficient server provision. Again, there's only one here. You need more. Develop RESTful APIs using FastAPI. Blah blah. Okay, so you need more. I want to say how you wrote these is fine, but the only thing I saw was Python, API, and CI/CD and SQL, which I did miss because there was so much other stuff. And I really need the JavaScript, CSS, HTML. I need the React. I need the cloud. And yeah, I know you have it here. It doesn't count. I'm sorry, everybody. It does not count. Professional skills sections just don't count. So then we're going to go down here. Design and implement an ETL process using Python. I don't know if ETL is needed as much. Workable, Control M, develop Java. Yeah, so this could be so much more. And the people at home are like, oh, he's like losing. This is not how it should be. Well, unfortunately, this person has a 100-to-1 ratio. And the reason they have been applying to so many is it looks like they actually have good experience, but the recruiters are not going to see it, and probably the managers aren't going to see it either. So you really need to rework how you write this. First off, use my formatting. This is the reason I have it here. And then you need to write more keywords in here. This doesn't matter. And again, it doesn't matter if it's 1 page. It can be 2 page. But what does matter, and the most important part, is everything I'm highlighting here, which is why it's not good that you're wasting that section with these right here. And then, so fix the formatting a little bit. It's not a huge formatting issue. Remove the professional skills and summary section. They do not help you. Add those keywords, because you got the right keywords, to these. Put your education up at the top. and then you should start getting interviews. So that's it for this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out. And if you need more help, go to twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. That is where I do these reviews live at Monday, Wednesday, Friday for about 3 hours, give or take, unless I'm not feeling well. So that's all for this episode, and I will see you all next time.